Oh, here we go.
Mike.
And we're back. Welcome back to the Moor Culture Podcast. I'm your host, Brother Tashina Edwards Bay, and we got a great guest here today, Councilwoman Shanè Darby, Wilmington City Council member, and obviously our great Sergeant of Arms, brother in training, brother in Army, brother in work, brother in mission, brother Shay Quinnell. Islam. This is, I believe, this is the 11th episode. 11th episode in Supreme Mathematics. That is knowledge, all being born to wisdom. Islam. So let's apply some knowledge and gain some wisdom today for the people. Yeah, I mean, I almost missed it. Let's greet everybody with whatever greetings they like, but we like to use peace, Islam, Assalamu alaikum, Rahubat, Hotep, Shalom, Alafiyah, Ayonio. Anything, Shanè, you have? Any greetings that we missed that you have for anybody?
You hit them all, man.
Hit them all.
I don't have anything to add to that at all.
Islam. So, man, so this is a great time for you to be here. I'm saying great in terms of it's a good time to talk, but there is things happening here in the city that aren't so great. I really want to start with what I seen you post recently about the violence. You called it a gun violence crisis in Wilmington. So I think there was an event recently that you had, right, to address this. I mean, can you please tell us about the state of Wilmington when it comes to gun violence and kind of what you're doing in council, like what kind of steps that you're putting into place to kind of fix that?
Right. So when I talked about the gun violence crisis currently, it's a continuous thing. So it's not new. Our communities from like, I guess the 80s, 90s with the introduction of crack cocaine, like we start experiencing high rates of gun violence in our community, specifically black male crime. So it's always been a crisis. Middle school, I lost my first friend to gun violence at the age of 12, right? So like it's always been something that's been a part of the community that I grew up in. So specifically for me as a city council person, I feel like I have to use my voice. And use the privilege and power that I do have to highlight things that are happening in our community. So it's not like a gun violence crisis just started or happened.
Correct.
I just think the response that city council has had, and I've been on, and I'm part of the city council that we had over the last 4 years. I've been on city council has been subpar. It hasn't been courageous, brave enough, and intentional. And this time or this go round, I want to be more intentional.
Okay. And
how I'm responding to crisis in the community, not just even gun violence. So I had an event, I had a press conference, and at that press conference, I'm pushing for two things: a community response team and an Office of Violence Prevention. So the state started an Office of Violence Prevention like back in March of this year. But I think it's important, like Wilmington is very unique. We're predominantly African-American, Black, Moor, whatever term we want to use for our people, predominantly Black city. And we have very particular specific issues that we need to focus on. And I think it should be very local and how we are addressing that, not a state initiative, but a very city like specific initiative. So I'm calling for a gun violence office that is Wilmington focused, not state focused, where we're lumped in with everybody else. And most times when we're lumped in on the state side, Wilmington doesn't even get the attention that we need. And it'd be people at the table who know nothing about Wilmington, right? And we're very different. And I think a community response team is important. We need crisis responders. On the ground. So I went to Baltimore the other day with Councilmember Bracy for a buy the block back program that they have that they're doing. And one of the council people was talking. It was like, yeah, when it's a gun violence, we have a bus come and respond. And they have like social workers, case managers. They have on the bus, they got video games for kids to play. So they come out to where the shooting was and they provide services to that community. We don't do that. It's crickets from the government. And we put it on the hands of a lot of nonprofits. And to be frank, Black women, because a lot of the Black women who are on the ground had lost their son to gun violence. So what Black women do is we mobilize, right? We get into action. We create programs. We create ways to network. So a lot of times on the ground is Black women who are doing the work, trying to do it, but they don't have the resource capacity. They still dealing with the hurt of their son or a daughter who passed away of gun violence, and we're putting it on them to do all the work. And the city hasn't done much. at all. So I'm trying to be a part of the solution and use my privilege, my power to just push those things. So, but outside of government, you know, I'm a community organizer. I'm from Wilmington, and I love my city. And I think it's really key and important to organize us in a way that's very community focused, because we can't expect government ain't going to save us.
Yeah.
Right? Government is not going to save us. We're going to have to save ourselves. And at some point in time, we're going to have to organize with each other and say, how do we look at gun violence or any particular issue in our community and be like, how are we going to come together to help each other in that, whatever that issue may be, gun violence, food insecurity, if it's self-defense, whatever that is that we need to do, we're going to have the conversation amongst ourselves. Like, I don't care about, like, somebody was talking about beef they had, why they don't want to work with other people. I don't care about your 1990 beef. You feel me? I don't care.
Yeah.
And there's people I'm in the room that I don't like either. But for the people, I'm going to put that to the side and I'm going to work with you because I love my people and I really love my city where I'm from. I love Black people, Moor people. I love like who we are, what we've been through, our resilience. Right. So for me, it's like, how do I become that voice? And it's like, I don't know. I don't even know how I'm here. Like, I'll be like, how did I get some days I'll be like, I just want to be done with this. But I feel like it's really a calling.
We need you, Shanè.
It's like a calling. The ancestors be calling me, I swear. Like, they be like, you got to say something. I'll be like, man, I could just sit home and watch Netflix.
No. So you touch it. Well,
you know your purpose.
Yeah, I know my purpose. I definitely know my purpose. It sounds cliche, but I found my purpose. And at first I didn't know my purpose for a while. I remember I'm always on this journey searching who I am and where I want to be in life. And my last journey where I was trying to figure out where I was, I remember I wrote everything down. I did a vision board and I wrote it down and I was like, this is where I want to be. And this is where I know I'll be in my happy place, right? And I am there, right? And I can say that the majority of the things that I'm doing, like it is exhausting, it's mentally draining because being an organizer, doing community work, being in social justice is going to be hard work. Yeah. But I am in my happy place that I'm able to, one, be in a position where I am. And then even in my position where I am, I'm still able to parent in a way that I can and want to, which is important for me too. So
I know you have, speaking of parenting, I know you have an organization, Black Mothers in Power?
Yes.
Okay. And which is literally what you are, a Black mother in power. I'm curious, you're touching on a lot of things I wanted to ask. You're already just knocking down all the questions I had already. But your background, like, so you had the organization, I'm sure, before you ran for office, right? Or
it kind of all happened at the same time.
Okay.
So I don't even know where to start with my story to even how I got there. I'm sitting here thinking where I'm even going to start. But 3 key things happened to me. I was diagnosed with postpartum depression. So I have 3 daughters. So I have a 17-year-old daughter, a 10, and a 9-year-old. Well, she was about to be 9. She was like, I'm 8, whatever. But she's 9. So after I had my 2 children back to back, I was diagnosed with postpartum depression and anxiety. And 3 things happened to me after that. I was hospitalized. I had, first I was in a car accident. I totaled my car. Then probably like a week later, after that, I experienced a cyst erupted in my uterus and I was hospitalized. I almost died. Like my daughter, like I felt myself going away, and my oldest daughter called my mom and I was rushed to the hospital. And then after that, my uncle passed away, and my uncle was like my dad to me. My uncle is the one who even got me to the point where I am in this life. He got me to read very young, like ISIS papers. They came before Columbus. He was actually a part of the Moorish Science Temple. He gave me knowledge to that and got me into and when I lived in Philadelphia, I was deep into the Moorish Science Temple, right? I was going to Fridays meetings and doing the work and studying my Circle 7 and doing the meetings and stuff. So for me, when those 3 things happened, it was either like, yo, y'all gonna put me in a cuckoo house. Like, I was like done after my uncle passed away. But I made a very conscious decision in my life that I was going to change it and that I had agency over it. And in that, I started saying, okay, I moved back to Delaware because that's where all my support was. And when I moved back to Delaware, I was like, all right, what do I want to do? I want to get connected back to my community. So that's when I got connected to this organization called Network Delaware. Okay. They taught me I took all classes. I was in all the workshops. You know, I was like, oh, you get paid to be an organizer? Like, this is like real work. So they gave me the tools that I needed to be like because I was already a firecracker. I was already an organizer. I just didn't have the terms or the knowledge or the tools to know how to properly do it. So I went to Network Delaware. They taught me how to run for office, and then they asked me about starting an issue campaign. I'm like, the issue campaign, what's that? And they taught me how to write policy. They should never taught me that. They taught me how to write policy, and they gave me all the knowledge and all of this. And I was like, what issue do you really care about? Like, I really care about being a parent, and I love being a Black woman. Like, hands down, every lifetime I'll be a Black woman, right? So then that's when the idea even came, and all my passions all came into one with Black Mothers in Power. It was really called Mothers in Power first, right? Because I didn't really. I battle with my knowledge of like being a part of the Moorish Science Temple. I battle with exactly what words to use sometimes, right? Because what I feel like what happens when I use words like Moor and stuff to people, they don't get it. So sometimes you gotta meet people where they are.
Understood.
And for me, I decided to use Black. That's where most people, I can meet them where they were or to get the information and services I need to get to them. So that's how I started Black Mothers in Power. It all happened at the same time at Network Delaware when they gave me the tools and the workshops. I was in every single class, top graduate, like, you know, I did everything. So that's how I even got involved in that work. So it all happened at the same time for me. And then after that was all you wrote, and that's where I am today, just doing the work.
Okay, so I was super excited to meet you officially because I admire your work. I've already, before the Grand Governor introduced and said, you know who you were and that we were going to have this conversation, I'd already seen you online, had already heard your name because you are much different than other politicians that we're seeing in Wilmington. So
I don't even like calling myself a politician.
Exactly. I know you don't like it.
I'm a community servant.
I know you don't like it. I know you don't like it, but you're in the game. You're in the game of politics, and I know you don't like that term. I would try not to use the term too much.
No, that's fine.
But this is what it is. Like you're in the council chambers. You're in this appointed, not appointed. You're in you're appointing yourself. The people appointed you. But you're elected official. So, on that note exactly right there, how do you balance that? Like knowing that you don't really care for the system like that on that level, to be called a politician or to even like the politics game, but yet you have to go. You feel like you have to go there to get things done. Like how do you balance that, knowing that you're really about the streets, you're about the grassroots, you're about feet on the ground, which most people in your position aren't. Like how do you balance that?
That's a good question. I would say that I think movements are multifaceted, right? I think you need the people who can go into the system, learn it, take back, and challenge it and shake it up. Then you need, for me, the people who are outside of that system doing the work too, but both of them have to communicate. So I think for me, where I am in my point in my life is I want to be a part of the system, but I don't want to be a part of it in the way where I'm a puppet or a sheep.
Yes.
Right. So I want to be in a part of it in the way where I'm shaking it up, where I'm asking questions, I'm challenging things, and I'm like fighting for liberation for my people, point blank, period. Like that's what I want to do while I'm in here. But I'm also collectively waiting for my people to wake up.
Yes.
Because I'm ready when y'all ready. Y'all tell me when y'all ready, because I'm ready.
Like you said, it is on us. It's not going to be a government coming in to save the day. I mean, it's literally almost the exact opposite. They come in and mess thing up.
But while we're in this system, we have to make it as livable as possible. Like, how can I be a part? How can I go to Christian Hospital and make sure that other Black women go there and have the best experience they can, right? I don't think I can ever change that system fully, right? I think reform can happen in small ways, but the hospital is designed to kill Black people, right? That's the very foundation of it. Like the very foundation of a hospital is to do that. Another
post I seen you post recently was about the system and reform and whatnot. So will true liberation happen? Like now that you're there in the council chambers, will true liberation happen for people with reform and policy, or will it be?
No, not at all. That's not where true liberation is happening. It's really about abolitionists, right? Abolishing systems. Like we need to abolish systems completely and start over and build our own. That's true liberation. What we're doing now is survival. Reform is just survival. How do I make it as livable as possible where I'm not dying? That's it. How do I make it comfortable while I'm here? That's what I'm doing for the now. But I'm ready to do the work on the other hand, which I think It's happening in certain capacities and certain organizations and groups, specifically in Black communities where I see it happening. But it's not happening on a big scale yet, where I feel like our people is like, they need to wake up. And I'm waiting for the wake up to happen. I feel like it's starting to.
I feel it.
I feel it too.
Yeah,
I feel it on a global scale.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially what's happening in different countries in Africa in regards to like they're getting rid of Western imperialism and talking about like neo-colonialism. They're breaking contracts with the United States and they kicking out Europeans. I'm all for it. I'm waiting. But then I think Black people need to realize globally, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So if we take the power out of Europe and the United States, right? If we take the economic power out of them, which is all resources in Africa, that's what they make money off of. We're going to economically collapse. And are we ready for that? Like, what we going to do?
Honestly, we letting them make money off of us, really. And speaking on what you're saying, it's hard for our people to understand that they're making money off of us. Everything that we do, they copy and try to take and try to flip it and make it seem as if it's not ours, but at the same time, they're making money off of us. I mean, take, for instance, the shoes that we buy, the clothes that we buy. If it's not made by us, they're making money off of us. The very
cell phone and technology.
Indeed, absolutely. And it's all coming out of Africa.
Yep.
What makes the cell phone is coming out of Africa. Indeed.
Islam. So, yeah, I'm real curious about, one of the first things I wanted to ask you about was reparations. This is going to get interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious about, first I'm curious about like literally what's happening. I know there's a task force and stuff. I heard.
Reparations task force. Let's dig into that.
So what's happening now? Like what's the state of that?
So I want to say the general thought of creating a reparations task force specifically for the city of Wilmington, I think it was a great idea, right? So our first Black woman, city council person, Hanifa Shabazz, council president, she was the one who created the reparations task force right before she left, but she lost the Tripoli Congo. So she created the reparations task force. My issue with the reparations task force, no disrespect to who was on it, I don't think it was the right people on the task force. Okay. And I don't think it got the publicity that it needed to get for the community to be involved in it. So I could listen to, because I like listen to, I could listen to reparations task force that was happening in California. But I couldn't really learn about what was happening in my own city around reparations because they had it public on TV. They had community forums and input. They had different things happening in California because reparations specifically for African Americans is not a new concept. It's actually happening in other cities and states. I don't think people know that because they act like it's a foreign concept when it's not, and it can be done. Like African Americans can get their reparations, and I'm all for it 100% in whatever form that is and what that looks like for that particular area. But in California, I was able to listen to their reparations task force more than the Wilmington one because it wasn't on TV. It wasn't a real way to be involved. But they did come up with some recommendations. And it was all performative. Okay. Right? It wasn't really, there was no money put behind it. When you have a task force, you're supposed to put money behind it because you need a researcher. You need someone to develop the documents. Right? People. So when you create a task force and you don't put money behind it, it just becomes performative. It's cute. Yeah. And I'm not looking to do cute. No.
So they made some recommendations, and that kind of was the end of it. Like, there's nothing happening today. Is there another meeting happening next? Okay, all right.
What you think?
I'm asking you. That's
so what hold on. What happened? Wasn't it a bill that was brought to the table or something?
Which bill?
Wow.
There was no reparations.
They made some recommendations.
There has not been one bill.
Yeah. So what was the task force that they were talking about that was being formed? There was no documentation or policy form?
They have a documentation with recommendations.
Recommendations.
Yeah, so the recommendations. So now what happens with recommendations, me as a council person or the administration is supposed to take it and then apply it. A lot of the things that's in the task force, in the recommendations cost money. The administration is going to say, we don't have money. Right? They're not going to really apply that. And I promise you they're not. And why are we in a majority Black city with a white mayor?
Islam.
All right. Want me to start on that?
You started already.
Right? So then you have a white man who's in charge of a Black city. You think he care about Black issues?
Right.
He was our governor. Did he do reparations as a governor?
He was the governor and he stepped down, right? Or not he stepped down, but I guess he just decided.
Yeah, he was something in state first. Then he became a congressman, and then he stepped down to be governor, and then he stepped down to be mayor. Because what happens is, in white supremacy in this culture, you have to preserve power and privilege, and he's a part of that, and he's a symbol of that. So they have to. Wilmington brings a lot of money into the state. Yeah, like Wilmington is like we are the backbone to the state, right? Yeah. Economically, right? So they have to control it, and they have to make sure that they have control over it. And if they give it back to us, they're not going to have control over that.
And if you didn't come back, it likely that it would have been somebody like us up there, right? Well, who wasn't Velda was running?
Yeah, Velda was running. I supported Velda unapologetically. Of course. I supported Velda. She would have been the first woman mayor. So I'm looking forward to 2028 to see who else runs. Or I don't know.
Okay, maybe you're running her.
I don't know. You don't know yet.
Exclusive.
I'm taking one step at a time. I'm definitely open to it. People have asked me, and I'm definitely open to it. Can you explain
how that works? So the people know how that works? Yeah. I mean, just how to run for councilwoman, councilman. I mean, in general, just how to do that. How to go about that.
Yeah, I raise a lot of money.
Did you join like a Democratic committee or something, or like the party or something, or did you get help from a Democratic party or something?
Yeah, so I'll explain that. So I was originally an independent, so I don't fool with any party. Like I'm definitely people over party. I wish I did not have to be anybody's party. Yeah. Republicans ain't it, the Democrats ain't, no, none of them are. So traditionally all my life I've been an independent. But when I decided to run for office, Democrats have a tight hold on Wilmington City Council where you have to be a Democrat to run certain seats. Yeah. So there's 13 seats. One is the president, the other 12 seats, 4 at large, and then 8 districts. The only one where you can be a non-Democrat is the at-large seat, which is James Spadola. He's the only non-Democrat who sits on city council because Democrats have a strong hold on the city of Wilmington. Okay. And that's how they keep their hold, and they try to stay in power too, which is a whole nother conversation about the Democratic Party. So I had to register as a Democrat to run for the 2nd District. And specifically, I wanted to run for the 2nd District because it represented the neighborhood I grew up in. So I'm from Northside. Gotcha. I grew up on 27th Crescent and I moved to 38th and West. So I'm a true Northsider. I bought a home over Northside on purpose. My kids grew up over Northside. I'm a Northsider. So I wanted to represent the neighborhood I grew up in. So that's the 2nd District. So I had to register as a Democrat. The Democratic Party doesn't like me.
Of course.
Okay? So I never had support by the Democratic Party. They try to put people up to run against me. Every time I run for office, they come out against me. Yeah. So I don't have support from the party. On paper, I am a Democrat. Yeah. In my heart and how I move, I am not a Democrat.
Yeah. I had issues this last primary because I don't vote. I mean, I just now, like, I'm gonna try to wield my political power more, but
wielding your political power is deciding not to participate is wielding your political power. Good point. People don't understand that. So people always say vote. Get people to go out to vote. You don't have to do that. If I make a decision not to vote, I made a decision that's how I decided to participate.
Yeah, right. As a temple here, I was told like, hey, we should support Velda. So if certain people, it's like, all right, I'm gonna do that because I see the light at the bigger vision. Yeah, the bigger vision. Yeah. I'll support a certain person, but I'm be real select. I went in there and like skipped past a lot of people and like Velda and like a couple other people and left the rest blank. Yeah, just to make sure I got my my voice
for
out
Velda,
there.
Yeah,
but see, my fault. Not to interrupt y'all, but I'm just thinking as you speak and see, this is the reason why people don't vote though, because they had nobody to vote for.
Yeah,
people will vote for you instantly. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Just because of the passion and the spirit that you have. People know that you're from Northside. I'm from Northside. I mean, the fact that you're speaking about Northside, that hits me as well. You understand what I'm saying? I grew up on West 29th Street. So I know exactly what you're talking about. My bus stop is right in front of the corner store on Washington Street. So, I know what's going on. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's the issue. We need to make our people understand that they are a part. They need to understand that they're not separate. And individuals like yourself showing that, coming out right now doing this podcast and speaking at the Moor Culture Center, this is what we need so that our people can understand how to step up, how to make that move. So I commend you,
And I think if you make a decision not to participate to vote, which I think is cool because I think that's participating. I don't judge people for not saying I'm not voting, right? But why aren't you voting? I want to dig deep into that. So if you're saying I don't vote, let's say for president because the Electoral College choose the president anyway. All right, cool. But then are you going to join an organization that then goes to try to change the Electoral College? Like you still have to be a part of the solution in some way. It doesn't have to necessarily be voting, but whatever your reason is to not why you're not voting, you should be fighting to change that.
I voted for, this is gonna be the second podcast I'm gonna admit again, I voted for Cornel West. You know, I voted for Dr. Cornel West just because
he was alright. I like this platform. I looked him up too because
he's a brother, and it's like I didn't see any brothers running, so he's a brother I voted for. Simple as that. So
he was alright.
Yeah. Islam. So Cornel, you got something, man?
I just wanted to say, you know, this sister right here, she definitely gave a lot of love to the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Federation Moorish Science Temple of America. She let us use her facility to obtain our charter, Islam. So, you know, thank you, Shukran. We appreciate that.
True ally.
You speaking about your history and having an uncle that was a part of Moorish Science Temple, that's deep as well. Because as you circle back,
I became a part. Actually, my last name is Darby Bay.
Islam.
Right? So I was given Bay. I'm a teacher.
Islam.
They knew I was a teacher, so I used to go to the temple with Brother Salim, and them in Philadelphia. I used to live over in North and West Philly.
Indeed.
So I was deep into the Moorish Science Temple at one point in time in my life, and it has impacted the way I even think now.
Yep.
It has impacted the way I move as a person and how I think and my character. And I want to I'm very appreciative of my uncle for even introducing me to it, because I was looking for knowledge. I was seeking knowledge, and I was seeking specific knowledge about who I was as a person and where I wanted to be. And the Moorish Science Temple helped me get to where I am today.
Indeed.
So I never forget that. So when they was reaching out y'all need to use the building, of course y'all could use the building. You feel me? I still have my Circle 7. I still introduce these things. My kids are bays, right? So these things, even though I'm not teaching, I'm not bringing them here. I'm teaching them the principles of higher self and my lower self, right? Those are the things that I'm teaching in my household too. So it's bigger than just a philosophy, but a way of who I am as a person.
Also, because we also came in there trying to find property. Yep. We was trying to find who we need to talk to. You gave us that. You ain't had to do that, but you did, right? And that's what I mean. That's what needs to be represented. That's what the people want. The people want to know that I got somebody that's in the council that I can go to. I got somebody in the seat that I can express my feelings to, that I can know that they're going to understand where I'm coming from. So, we're appreciative of you coming here and expressing everything and, explaining your background and what you do, because the people need to know. Our people need to know. Some people might not even know, So that's what it's about, getting it out.
Anybody looking for the knowledge, you come here. Moor Culture Center, 715 North King Street, moorculturecenter.com. We got the Circle 7 Quran. We have the knowledge, the light. I'm just a student. I'm a humble student. I don't know much, but I do know that we got the knowledge here. And that's why I'm here every Friday. That's why I'm here most Sundays. That's why I'm here most days that we're during the week, really working at this point, building the center up, putting programs together. We have the cooking class coming soon with Sister Abundance. I don't know if you saw that. That's going to be powerful. Still have to get dates set for photography class, audio recording,
music production
class. We have dates coming soon for those. Martial arts, of course. Martial arts we have every Saturday right now. So really just trying to, outside of the Holy Temple, Holy Day Temple every Friday, we're just trying to bring as much help as possible to the community. On that note, what can you help us at all? Is there any way, what is there any money out there? Is there anything in the government that can help a grassroots organization or a center like ours?
Yeah, we can definitely talk. I put y'all in the right direction. There's, I don't know if y'all got your 501c3.
We're working on it. I don't know if we have it yet. We're working on
There's
that.
grant money for y'all to do some of the work y'all doing, and then there's also ways that you can pull from the community, which I think is the best way, which is the hardest way, but the best way to go, because government money, you gotta jump through loops.
Yep.
And just to get the funding,
It's always something.
It's always something, right? So, but I think the best way is to go community, but that you can get grant money and other city council money that I can definitely point y'all in the right direction.
Islam, moorculturecenter.com. Click the donate button. Help us out. Us out. So, if Grand Governor can hop on, because I have a question about, or I'm go back to reparations, but
we need reparations. Give me my money.
I don't,
you feel me? I'll take my 50%.
This is where
all right.
This is where it's gonna be interesting, because I don't know if we do. I don't know if I want reparations. I know I'm on a different kick right now. I'm on reclamation. I'm on reclaiming.
Listening.
I'm on. This is our land. Islam. I mean, I want what is. I don't want you to repair us. I mean, I want us to be able to reclaim what was ours already, what was stolen from us.
Can you do both? Can they give me my coins and the land?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, no, you're absolutely right. I mean,
listen, give me both.
Because something I was going to ask was like, reparations. It seems like it's gonna, if it does go through and it does happen, it's like, all right, it's for Black people. Okay, well, I just came to some new knowledge recently where legally I'm about to change my status. I'm about to not be Black. I'm about to change my legal law status from Black to white as status. I am always going to be Black spiritually. I'm always going to be Black in terms of where I come from, in terms of the ethers, in terms of real science.
But for your legal status,
I don't know. I don't know if I'm Black. I believe I'm white. So now, can I get reparations at that point? Like, what would that look like? Because there's plenty of Moors that are now doing that. Or even outside of Moors, just even people that are hip to the science of what's legally possible based off of who we really are. Because when you look it up, Northern Africans are considered white. They can be considered white if you just stake that claim and make it, bring truth to that knowledge. Like, I'm a descendant of a Northern African. I'm white by legal status, and at that point, I am.
But I need you to break down for people why you want to say white.
I can't. That's why I brought the Grand Governor here.
I don't think a lot of people understand, because a lot of people.
Besides North African.
As someone who's aware of the knowledge, if I go around telling people I'm white, they're gonna look at me like I'm crazy. So I need y'all to explain.
I'm
to
Black,
the people.
but legally, I'm about to be white.
Legally,
I'm about to be white.
The definition,
but I'm always Black.
And what Black and white is.
Well, hey, peace, everybody.
Peace.
I always refer to movies because they get good visuals. You know what I mean? One of my favorite movies, The Django, with Jamie Foxx. It's a scene where, he gets, broken from those shackles and those chains, right? And it's a scene where he rides into town with this guy who's a European, has his nationality, and he comes in with this bright blue outfit, right? And the girl asks him, "So you want to look like that?" It's a sobering fact, because I get that all the time, especially more so the teaching comes from me explaining it, right? So to do a little brief introduction about it here, that's not a problem. But just, I'm telling you, every time that topic comes up, there is a sense of inquisitiveness. There's a sense of, you crazy.
Yeah, you there.
That comes along with it. But it's a science. So when you're a mad scientist, you really get deep into, what it really is. Like, we talked about the legal status. So yeah, it's an understanding about legal status. There's a directive which people should be familiar with, which is Directive 15. And if people are able to look that up, then it'll be half the work of talking about what the brother is speaking about, because it breaks down classifications. And so, again, you're doing a real deep study. Let's really get into it. You have nationality, which is what we plug, 1,000%. Moorish Science Temple American been plugging nationality, divine creed along with that since 1913. And so why is that? Because it's important, right? It's important to the fact that we have people who come from North Africa, and they're classified as white here. They could be as dark as my pants and the color of my headpiece, but they'll be classified as white. Even with some of my brothers and sisters of the Spanish or Latinx, again, not want to offend anyone, but this is the same demonstration. They are also classified as white. And so when you look into that particular classification and what it all represents, I was told one thing, and I know it's true. In a police officer's car, there's only 2 boxes. And so the assumption is on the police officer, right? The police officer going to check either black or white. And when that's how quick we can get misclassified. You know what I mean? But again, Directive 15.
The OMB, the Office of Management and Budget, which is from the Census Bureau, I guess, or something like that.
The Census Bureau.
Yeah, the Office
the
of
Census Bureau.
Office of Management and Budget, OMB, Directive 15. Look it up. But yeah, the term white is defined as a person having origins in any of the original peoples. First of all, original peoples, they already just. But original people of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. That is the classification of white. If I'm a descendant of people from Northern Africa, I have every right to claim to be white legally.
It's a video on YouTube, shameless plug, about a doctor who, I'm just gonna say Mr. Mustafa. Mr. Mustafa came over and he lost his job because he wanted to be black, and his colleagues, and he was a professor, told him he was white, and that's how it is here in the United States of America. And a lot of things we fighting. We just got to really do some more research on, But again, classification of white is something that we teach, and it comes along with degrees. It's not, you're not going to get it like in a short segment, but the biggest piece of the pie is to really study what is Directive 15. Look at how that was introduced. The census was, being pushed around not too long ago, a little bit before COVID. And then COVID came around and started classifying people. So people getting sick automatically. These places, anytime you have to put down race, which is something that, here in this particular location, in this state, we've been pushing to abolish on all documents. Because if you're not going to honor one, you're going to honor none. So the reality of it is you can't misclassify me. It's a lot of teaching right then. I'm going to the doctor. Yeah, I'm coughing. Okay, I need to go to the doctor. I put down on the paper, I'm white. And this is the reality of it, that, that document is my document. You couldn't change nothing on it. But constantly, certain agencies will look at you and be like, oh, that's a typo. Like, I'm going to miss a W for B. And so, really, if it was up to me, because with some of the old practices of Delaware was the M. So if the M was still in practice, then we'll be able to rock with that too. But that's to a certain degree as well. The M was used here in Delaware. So on the classification of driver's license or any identification card that you was using, there was when they asked for race, a M was placed. And what did the M represent? Moorish. A lot of our indigenous brothers and sisters had that degree. So I'm just saying, it's a fight. It's a silent fight, but, for those who know.
Islam. Shanè, what's your thoughts on that? I feel like you have something to say.
No, I don't have anything to say. I was taught that too. And for me, it was really the Black Laws Dictionary, understanding the definitions and like etymology. Yeah. That's what I learned. Another tool in my toolbox is like the importance of understanding what words mean is one thing that I got when I was a part of the Moorish Science Temple. And for me, like reading and understanding like what black really meant when you read the legal status in that Black Law Dictionary. Yeah. And when my uncle told me you need a Black Law Dictionary, I was reading it and I'm looking up definitions. I'm like, that's what that really means legally on paper. So I understand like there's a lot of misnomers in regards, and black people who've been called black, African American, colored, Afro American. They give us all these different terms, and they're really not our terms, right? But I also, for me, which I think I might derived from this ideology of like the whole naming piece. I also believe in agency and you can take and change the power and energy of things.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I am God, right? If God is in me,
Islam.
right? I have the power to change like what that word means, like to reclaim, like like reclaiming things. Yep. So for me, I don't really get too big into that anymore. Like personally on like, oh my gosh, don't call yourself black. Don't call yourself African American. You're a Moor, you're this. I really don't get big into those things anymore because I also believe in the power of agency and I can change the energy of something because that's the power I have within me because of my connection to nature, my connection to God.
That's right.
So that's really my thoughts around it. But I do definitely respect and the teaching.
Well, the teaching is know thyself. So I can't tell you how to subscribe. I can't tell you how to classify for you. Your own self, your own spirit, your own soul, and your own, degree of energy, which we love. So, don't change, as the old song go, don't change. Because what you're doing now on the front lines of where you at, it's important to be done. And I know we're going to, talk offline about what needs to be done in this area. We're a little close to City Hall, but whatever representative that we need to work with or bug, we will do that. And so, working with you and keeping with, the understanding of how things need to be done, that's information that does need to get out to the people. And we can say for the years that I've known you, you have done that consistently. If it's not working with, and we're going to use a common, these words are placeholders. These are not identifiers at all, but placeholders.
Placeholders, I like that.
And so as we put them in the proper placing, we know that our people is the common goal. So just I know for a fact, I bear witness to many work you've done. If it's not for our Asiatic young sisters who have went into pregnancy all the way to turning that around to being, doulas and getting initiatives done for our schools and getting things together for the different drives that you have, the different events. And like the brother was speaking about, before we nestled in here, we were on a search for a location and reaching out to you gave us some information. It didn't work out too much, but it was still a blessing. You didn't. That's right. You know what I'm saying? It still was a blessing. You know what I mean? Because it also brought more fire to us in our search. Mm-hmm. And so, just an honor to have you here. Just in general, the work is going to continue to be done. I got one more thing to say on that Directive 15 thing, because I know I'm hammering it because that's what our lessons teach us, to hammer in the truth. Because I'm like, it's basically like, but it's so much within that, right? So here in the state of Delaware, and you can imagine the things that come across my desk about ones who want to proclaim their nationality. Mm-hmm. So we're getting political today. And I'm going to talk about this reparations. When I've worked through every avenue within this state, I've noticed that it's a formula, right? And let's say the very, very, point of this day about when I'm saying we getting political, I want people to know that it's not nothing criminal to be a Moor. It's not because it's a lot of stigma too with this, and it's a lot of I'm gonna just say it straight out. It's a lot of bull out here with this because defending the truth, defending the gospel. It's a lot of bull about being a Moor. So a lot of that has come into, am I doing it right? And so when people come to me, the first thing I tell them is about Directive 15, and that alone is status correction. I don't promote, and this is on record, I don't promote that anybody do this in no courtroom. I don't think you need no funny seals. It really ain't nothing but a phone call, because it's one particular agency which is in the state of Delaware, and I'm gonna name drop it, the State Bureau of Identification. I mean, the only bureau that would handle identification. Uses Directive 15. It's right on it. When you go there and you get your fingerprint, those who get a job, You might get fingerprinted at the SBI here in this state. And it's gonna be right there on the window, the classifications. And it's only there because they are mandated by that particular. So I can't speak on other states. I can't speak on, and I know we got a good range of people who are tuning in from other temples, other places. So I can't really speak on what they're doing there. But I'm just saying, like, Directive 15 is so unique here and how it's being used. And when you say not classifying ourselves as Democrats or none of that, you know, it's just a classification of being your ethnic understanding, your ethnic identity. And so we tighten it up good enough so we can ask, you know, when they ask you, why are you doing this? You got the right answer. You know, it's not going to be done willy-nilly. It's not going to be on a position where you're just going out running crazy, hitting the streets, committing crimes. This is something serious. So, you know, we carry the bay and the ill very seriously. And, you know, our organization would not be, you know, involved so much if we didn't think that it was a good thing that you would do. So I don't want to put my rant on, but sometimes when I put this color on, I'll be going crazy. But I'm just saying. And the last thing I want to say too is Trump signed reparations.
Shanè, what you got to say about that?
When the money gonna hit my account?
Yeah. Where the money at? Show me the money. I count it.
Man, I don't care what president it is. I'm not
of course
to presidents or people, right? Like when I tell you I am people over party, I am not a Kamala fan, I am not a Trump fan, I am not a Joe Biden fan, I am not an Obama. I don't like how many presidents we had? 46, 47 of them. I don't. Nah, they're not for me. None of them.
Just our neighbors, our people, the people that are next to us, people that we're working with. Our
so
family.
If Trump signs reparations or if Kamala signs reparations, I just where I go get it, where I pick it up at.
Here's my direct deposit. We're gonna pick it up.
Like, I don't care if Trump signed it. Like,
I mean,
I'm not a fan of him either.
I mean, that kind of goes back to the original question about how it should be formulated. You know, again, as a citizen, you know, business owner, religious head here within the city of Wilmington. I think that really, when the task force, it did start off good, you know, because I was involved with one brother, you know, still gives us a little updates or whatever about how it could have been better. But, you know, again, grassroots organizations like the Moorish Science Temple of America and, you know, other organizations who are having a bond, a 501c3, etc. That's pretty much how I think it will come out. You know, not necessarily everybody gets it. You have to really have a grounding of our or a track record of actually working with the people. And so that's 501c3. Even though I have like my reserves about it, it seems like here in the state of Delaware it's unique because we're a tax-free state. So, you know, us being a religious organization, according to the IRS, we automatically tax exempt.
Islam.
So it's pretty unique. It's pretty eye opening to kind of go through those hurdles through the years. But again, we have a friend who knows things from the other side, and so that's important, you know, because it's hard. You know, really trying to reach the people as much as we want to reach them. That's why we have the podcast. That's why we open the doors on Friday, because we want people to feel free to come on in. We're getting closer to the city where people are right outside, you know, in that state of mind. So
hold up, y'all want to take a corner?
Yeah, we can
I'm
take a corner.
being dead serious. I need black men, more men, Asiatic men to be taking these corners where all these boys standing at.
Hey, we got sheiks in the streets.
Yeah,
and that's a demonstration. That's a demonstration we definitely can do. I mean, we have to. If you're giving us a directive,
I definitely need y'all.
Please tell us where.
I need y'all. I need all of them. I'm reaching out to all the fraternities. I got a meeting with them after this. I've been reaching out to Black Men Build.
You went to the Nation of Islam?
I haven't reached out to Brother
Okay.
John Muhammad yet.
Yeah,
but
because
he's
they
on-
definitely
he's-
about
he's
pushing the
on-
streets.
He's on my list.
Yeah,
Right.
he's
So
lamb.
I've been reaching out to a few people over the last few days because I really need more black men to be out there on those corners before the shots fired.
Exactly.
Somebody needs to be with those young men and those boys, providing them with guidance. And I don't care if they go become a Moor, if they go to Christianity, if they go to the Nation of Islam,
wherever.
I need them somewhere.
As long as they're not doing violence.
As long as
right?
they're not doing violence,
yeah.
wherever find yourself, wherever your higher self is, and you find it and it brings you peace, I'm cool with it.
Islam. That's what we're about. I mean, we had, if you saw, we had we had a brother and a sister from the Nation of Islam here. So we're definitely not about don't say black, don't do that, like, not at all. I mean, we're about our people first and foremost. Whatever word you want to use, you can use it. We know who our people are. We know where we descended from. So we're about unity. You know, no contradiction about it. You know, so.
Yeah, I need y'all out there. That's all.
All right, we're gonna talk. We'll find that. Please keep. We're in a group
flyer.
chat, so let us know what corner we should be at. You know, we're already out here. We're gonna be out here, especially now the weather has broken.
That's right.
We already been giving out food and clothes right out front, right at the front door. And this bus stop is busy. This street is busy, right around the corner, right on the other side of Market Street. So yeah, we're here. We're in the heart of it, and we're ready. This is what we're here for. So I really appreciate you, Shanè, for coming. I really appreciate the energy you bring to City Council, because it would not, you know, without you there, I can only imagine how much behind, you know, the city would be in some of these directives and some of these initiatives. So I really do thank you for that. I missed comments earlier, but Sister Abundance said we should have a self-reparations task force, which kind of what we talked about. You know, a self-reparations task force. What are we doing to repair ourselves? Which is we kind of talked on. And this is where places like this comes into play. She has her organizations. You have your organizations. I mean, really, as long as we come together in fellowship and find ways to build together, that is self-reparations right there. The more we can repair ourselves and also repair.
I think we
people
say
next
that,
to
but
us.
we're not doing that.
Not as much as we should.
Like, that's my question, and that's what I've been trying to do. How do we get everybody in the room together?
Everyone, yeah, that's we need that. I mean, it's so spread out and so sporadic and not as much as we should. But you do have Black Mothers in Power. We do have the Moor Culture Center. We do have people here, but it's just not enough, right? Like, that's really what it is. We have organizations. We have Muhammad's Mosque number 35. Sister Abundance has her initiative, so it's more so. Yeah, I guess the unity thing. I think we need more of us coming together. I met the brother at yeah, we gotta have. We'll figure it out this summer. You know, this is the summer because I met this brother at the Malcolm X. What was it, Malcolm X celebration at what school was that?
I think that was that was
I think it used to be a school, but
that was William H. Hicks, I believe it was at.
Yeah, and man, I had tears in my eyes that day because, you know, the Moorish Science Temple was there, the Nation of Islam was there, the Nawapians were there. They're right around the corner from us as well. I'm frequent. I still do frequent there, but I used to be there all the time, like just getting knowledge from the Sagtat, was a sister there. And I would just sit and just listen to her. And be like,
the Israelites was there.
Yeah, the Israelites. It was just like so many groups, and I was like,
shout out to Sister Freedom.
There was so many people together. When online, all I saw was the constant arguing, the constant like, oh, look at this guy with his hat, or look at these people with their bow ties, or look at their bean pies, or look at like, can we stop, man? Like, can we stop downing each other and try to and big each other up, because we're all really for the same mission at the end of the day. So that was a beautiful demonstration of the Malcolm X thing. We'll make sure we're more proponents of that. We're gonna make sure we have these events that we, you know, are attending, but also that we're gonna throw. We're gonna make sure we happen. We have a location now, so you know, I know you have our back, so I know you will be there.
Do.
And same thing goes for you. Anything that comes up, please let us know. Put us on the corner. We'll be there. Sheiks in the streets. Man, I'm sweating. I'm I'm fired up. The tea does it to me as well. That holy breath tea that gets me.
You tried some of that holy breath tea.
I did try it.
How did you feel about that holy breath tea? It's like a commercial. It's like a commercial. Don't laugh at me, Sarge. Sarge, your arm just laughing at me, y'all.
She said she's not a tea. She's not a tea.
I'm not a tea person,
Yeah,
so
you're not a tea
don't
person.
use me for judging that.
What was it? Yeah, we have another brother came as well with you.
I'm gonna do one more
See,
sip.
yeah, see, keep coming back.
I'm a tea guy, so.
Brother says he's a tea guy.
Yeah.
He still has his
Brother
cup.
Jesus. Yeah,
That's right.
He already, I mean, you can't mess it up. You put some herbs with some water, put some honey. It's gonna be good. You know, straight from the source, straight from God. This is the stuff that your body needs. I promise you. And
I
it's,
agree.
you know, it's not just drink some black tea and coffee creamer and sugar. Like no. Especially because as soon as you start adding some white sugar to it, you're basically just killing it.
I agree with y'all. My taste buds just don't. It's not doing what it's supposed to do when I drink tea.
I understand.
But I agree with all the benefits. It's probably wonderful.
Yeah, Islam. So, yeah, I mean, we've been here a while. I really do appreciate you, Shanè. And any final thoughts, Brother J. Howard Bay?
Yeah, just sister, we just want you to keep on doing what you're doing. Like the spirit has spoken. Like everyone came on. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. We're here, 715 North King Street, Wilmington, Delaware. We want to make an impact on the community, and we want to make an impact, and we can only do that with you coming in. So I know you're listening. Come on in. I know you've been wondering. Come on in. We want you to come on. Feel free. Have some of this tea.
Islam. The teas are available online. MoorCultureCenter.com. Register for Sister Abundance's our event, Mommy's Table, the best way to cook with plants.
That's right.
Affordably too. This is like the reason why we're doing this is because there's mothers and fathers that are cooking dinner every day, and a lot of them really aren't cooking dinner. They're like just heating it up. They're just throwing something in the microwave or doing whatever. And it's like, listen, there is ways to get plants, get legumes, get beans, get plants, and make a meal that your child will like, that you will like, and your child will like, that is healing. And it does a lot of things. So come learn how to cook with plants the right way, affordably. Just go to our website, moorculturecenter.com. You'll find a flyer, register. Hopefully I'll see you there, Shanè. That's really about it. What any final thoughts you have? Anything you want to leave for the people of Wilmington or anybody?
Final thoughts. I don't know. I don't think I have any final thoughts. I think we went over a lot today.
Islam.
Yeah, just follow just be who you are. Mm-hmm. Follow your purpose and do it for your people. That's it, really.
Islam. On that note, we are signing off. Thank you again for a beautiful episode. I will see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.